Hello and welcome to Clipping In Sunday, the 9th of July, and today I'm revisiting the route of my first ever race. We're going all the way back to 1998 to revisit the Huddersfield Road Club Hilly time trial, which I think was billed as 21 miles, and it's an interesting course, starting at Jackson Bridge, which is not too far from Holmfirth, and taking in some nice lanes and a few decent hills. The roads are drying out now. Yesterday afternoon, evening and overnight there was some torrential rain and thunderstorms, monsoon stuff, but it's meant to be a nice day today, sunny. As I say, the roads are drying. I expect the back roads will be lots of flint and debris being washed out of the fields, but take that as it comes. The year before the Hilly time trial, I was still living in France, and I'd done half a dozen cyclosportif events and maybe another half dozen cyclotouriste, which were kind of a cross between Audax and a group ride, but I hadn't done any actual races. I wasn't licensed. You could do the French sportive events unlicensed if you had like a doctor certificate. You go to your doctor, pay 250 francs, he'd check your blood pressure, breathing, heart and so on, give you a certificate that you could then use for a year and enter as many sportives as you liked. But the system back home in England was slightly different. To do a time trial, you had to be a member of an affiliated club. You had to fill in an official entry form 2 or 3 weeks in advance, pay your fee, and they would place you in the field at 1-minute intervals, seeding basically, according to the times that you'd put on your entry form. I didn't have any times, so I was a bit of an unknown quantity, so they put me first man off, which was a bit daunting because I had nobody to copy, nobody to imitate. I thought, what do I do? Another difference, of course, was attire, because in the sportives you could wear trade team kit. It was almost expected that you'd wear trade team kit, but in official RTTC time trials you had to either wear proper approved club colours or plain clothes. I joined an affiliated club at the beginning of that year, the Huddersfield Road Club, ordered some club clothing, but it hadn't arrived, so I did my first couple of time trials looking like a fell runner who got lost on his way to an event. Once my club clothing came, I raced in it a few times. I'll put a photo up, but I found that time trialing, those jerseys used to fill up like a sail in the wind, so it wasn't long before I bought a plain skin suit, went back to plain clothing. That was the time when I got that really nice custom built Terry Dolan steel time trialing frame and a disc wheel. Whoa! Now, from memory, the start was somewhere around here, uphill, no push. Now you can see there's a little bit of a break in the gradient. It's climbing up there. You can see the houses on the skyline to the right. That's where we're heading. Quite a good climb. I wasn't sure 25 years ago how hard to set off, because I'd done sportives and whatnot, but I'd never done a time trial, and I thought, well, if I set off like a sprint, I'll totally blow and probably won't make it back up until I get to the top. So I set off a bit cautiously, which I think was the wisest thing to do. And you can lift the pace on these well, they're not false flat, but on these easier parts. See if there's a view behind. Approaching Victoria Crossroads. The idea for me revisiting this route came from a little exchanging comments on an earlier video with Paul, and he was telling me that Victoria Crossroads, one of his friends lived right next to the pub, or might have even been the landlord, but that pub closed over 20 years ago, I think. You can see the high Pennines there. That would be the area. Woodhead, Langsett, South Yorkshire. The route will be going over there, dropping down to Millhouse Green, and then climbing up on the other side of the hills past that wind farm. Well, I've just come up Royd Lane. I remember in the race you do it twice. I remember it being really tough, so I wasn't sure today. I just stuck it in bottom gear just to be on the safe side, but it wasn't that bad. I'll film it on the second lap, or parts of it. Nice view over there. Again, looking over towards Woodhead, Home Moss Mass, you can just see. And this keeps climbing for a bit longer, and then I seem to remember some kind of a sharp right up, then a left. Emily Moore, and looking towards South Yorkshire again. I've left Lane Head and I'm heading back towards Victoria Crossroads. There's about 10 miles of time trial ridden at this point, and I remember getting caught by a Team Rapide rider for 3 minutes on his low pro time trialing bike, carbon wheels, and he gave me a shout. Whether that was encouragement or get out of my way, I'm not sure, but I thought, well, there's no shame in that. I remember they used to race, they were over Preston way, and they used to race in purple shorts. Very impressive. Coming back to Victoria Crossroads, left turn, second lap. I'm staggered by what beautiful countryside this is. One of those things that when I did the race, because I was living in France, I didn't recce it, and when you're racing you can't really look around too much, but I think since then I've only ridden it once. That was maybe in '99 when the mist was down and there was some old snow banked up on the roads, so I didn't see a lot. But today I've had plenty of opportunities to look around, and it's marvellous stuff. So we're climbing Royd Lane now from Millhouse Green. Where it trends slightly left, that elbow, that's where it gets quite steep, and I will need both hands. But I remember in the old days, I think I had 39.23 bottom, and I might have been on a 21, honking away. Certainly felt tough second time. Hooray for compacts. Lovely quiet road on here. It's I've seen a few cyclists around, understandably so, because it's the nearest thing you'll get for traffic free. Superb. See behind. Great stuff. Approaching the 20-mile mark of the time trial now, so I suppose it should be a big gear and a a big wind up for the checkerboard, and not today. Not when there's views like that over there. Very impressed by this circuit. Certainly be coming back here, maybe with a stopwatch. Now, from memory, I think the checkerboard finish was somewhere near that yellow sign there where it says reduced speed. I'm going to stop because that section of road is technically closed, but I squeezed through on the first lap. But this time around I'm just going to do a turn. So my GPS pins it down to 20.15 miles. So I'm guessing that it was probably billed as 20 miles. But it's a great little course. Also, what's interesting, starting at Jackson Bridge, climbing up to Victoria, you never descend that. So it's a course that has more ascent than descent. Now I've got about 18 steady miles now through Denby Dale and Bretton to get me home. And I think the ride's going to be around 60 miles all in. So a ride looking to be just short of 60 miles. For me, it's been a nice trip down memory lane. But also I think in itself it's been a good ride with some very nice views. Decent weather. And that time trial circuit itself was almost traffic free. Definitely one to return to. So that's all for this edition of Clipping In. But I'll see you very soon for another edition out on the Yorkshire roads. Bye for now.